Blalock. How you doing today, Mr. Robert Blalock?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
That's
blessed. I
good.
appreciate being here with you.
That's good. That's good. Well, first of all, Mr. Robert Blalock, my sons,
Indeed.
my fraternity brother, they crossed on the greatest coders line ever at Tennessee State University, the Alpha Theta chapter of Tennessee State University, Resurrection 37.
The
So
GOAT.
thank you, good brother, for taking time out your busy schedule because I heard some exciting news that I want to bring you on today. First of all, let me share some things. Let me share the background of Mr. Robert Blaylock. Mr. Robert Blaylock is a talented young man. He serves on a foundation with Tennessee State University. He is a franchisee with Zaxby's, and he also is one of the owners of Smashin Crab restaurant. They have some stores in San Antonio, and they're doing real well. So that's an independent, and he's also an independent owner and a franchisee. So, Mr. Blaylock, hats off to you, my brother. And listen, I want you to first of all to explain where you been these past couple of days and the side news I want you to share with everybody what happened.
Yeah, first of all, I just appreciate being here. And once again, to my best friend here. Um, the last few days have been a true blessing. You know, me being a family man and in the community, I got into coaching girls flag football a few years back because my daughter had interest in it. And since then, we've been really developing a lot of young ladies. And the purpose was to build confidence and self esteem and lead them down pathways where they can get some exposure that they might not have had before. And that culminated into us winning the Tampa championship earlier this year, which I was super proud of these young ladies, super proud because it was a very tough league. And we got invited to the national championship. National championship was in Maryland this past weekend at the University of Maryland, the URISE National Championship, which was the first national championship for girls 6th through 8th grade. And this was unprecedented. And so this is leading into girls flag football is the fastest growing sport in the nation. Fastest growing sport in the nation. They had um, a stat that came out a year and a half ago. There were, let's just say, less than 100,000 girls playing for girls flag football. And this year, they estimate there's over 500,000 girls that's playing girls flag football. And it's going to be an Olympic sport in 2028. So girls flag football will be an Olympic sport. But leading back to us being invited to the national championship was the first one. We played against it was the four top teams where URISE participates, which they participate in 10 different states, and the four top teams being Tampa and California, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Virginia were the top four teams. And I have to say, our girls showed up. A couple of tidbits. One, we're the only team that had African American girls on our team. Period. Um,
So your team was the only team that had how many African Americans versus Caucasian or what have you on your team?
on our team, we had eight African American girls, two young ladies, Caucasian young ladies. And so, but yeah, you know, the sport itself is me getting involved in it. It has been predominantly not a sport that our girls have been participating in, and so this was important for us to give them some development opportunities. And so we went up to the University of Maryland, and these girls showed up and showed out. When I say showed up and showed out, we went 5-0. That's the first thing. We scored in the 5 games 175 points and only gave up 12 in 5 games.
Wait a minute. I think I'm okay with math. Can you I think I passed math and I do well, but repeat that again, Mr. Baylor. What you
175 points to 12 in 5 games. Those girls were balling, said. I'm telling you, out the gate. We played Philadelphia first, and I think our girls, there was a lot of anxiety because we didn't know what we were walking into. They had been working really hard, practicing a lot. And that first game, we won 46-6, the first game out the gate.
40-66. That sound like Pittsburgh Steelers against the Dallas Cowgirls.
Because I know
That's what that sound like.
you
That's
love
a
your
score.
Steelers. You love your
What you
Steelers.
what you said, love them Steelers. Listen, all Pittsburgh Steelers fans, that's what we're gonna do to you guys this year. Deatrice McCall, you get yourself ready. Whoever want to go, we're gonna whoop y'all, baby. Anyway, I'm sorry, Mr. Blalock. Go ahead.
No, but so yeah, out the gate, man, they came ready to play. We ended up winning the other two games that Saturday in significant fashion. And then that led into Championship Sunday, where we played the Virginia team first. And that game went pretty easily for us. They didn't score against us. And then we played against California's best team, and we won that championship 26-6. But yeah, let me share you a picture of the girls. Yeah, I think you got to allow me to share.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
while you're doing that, but yeah, so on our team, we only had four girls that are rising freshmen. They'll be going into their freshman year this fall. The rest were seventh graders going into their eighth grade year. So they will be back. So we're pretty excited about that. And we just got word, Sedrick, that you will be excited about that in Tampa, they're going to be recognized at the Tampa Bay Rays game, which is the Major League Baseball team here, next Tuesday. They're going to recognize our girls at that game.
Wow, that's incredible. Repeat that again, Mr. Blalock. Now, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, so next Tuesday evening, the Tampa Bay Rays, which is a Major League Baseball team here, are going to recognize our girls for winning the national championship at the game.
That is awesome.
Yep, yep.
That's awesome, Layla. That is awesome. That don't you know that's a game changer with all these children lives that can see them as role models and what they're doing today. And that's what it's important, as a franchisee and as a business owner, you tie all that in together to give them the experience to know how important it is to venture off to things that you want to do and you love doing. And you
Yes.
tie all in together, Mr. Belloc. And that's why my thing is I'm getting involved in schools. I'm
Mm-hmm.
involved with these children's lives. We gonna listen, Westwood, we're gonna make Westwood great again.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go in and buy every house one at a time. We're gonna revitalize Westwood. Okay. So the children, our children need to see these things. They need to
Yep.
see positive things like this, positive things that they can do and accomplish like we did.
Yep.
Everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody can't be a. I mean, I had an NFL scholarship to play football, but I couldn't make it. I played for St. Joseph's Catholic School. I'm gonna tell you a joke. They
Yeah.
called me Tattoo. That was my name at St. Joseph's Catholic School. My name was Tattoo. So,
From
but anyway,
from the TV show.
yeah, yeah, Tattoo.
Yeah.
The plane.
But to your point though, Cedric, I mean, you made
Yeah,
an excellent point. Part of the thing that we did with our young ladies when we went on this trip was one, trying to get them to understand financial literacy to in a small extent. So they all had their own credit card that they had to manage their budget for meals while they were there. That was just a sub part of trying to get them to understand a bigger picture of things. But we wanted to go professionally. We wanted them to feel professional. And I think we accomplished that on several levels.
I think I
Can you still
lost you.
hear?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. I lost you.
All
Okay,
right. So
go ahead.
yes,
Go ahead.
yep. So yeah. So I think we accomplished that. So now, but to your point, and I know you're trying to revitalize the infamous high school you went to, and I think that's very important because it is important for kids to see us in a different light and see success in different avenues because there's things that we can show or help or just provide opportunities that we didn't know about when we were at that age. And I think it's really, really important because it happens in other communities all the time and is not prevalent or is as prevalent as it should be in our community. So spending time with these young ladies and we built a culture of family. They're like my other daughters, right? And I really think it's important to expose them as much as possible. My wife spends a lot of time trying to provide high school students with opportunities to get scholarships to go to college. That's what she focused on. And I think, some of the other things that the franchise industry provides, this whole entrepreneurship theme, but sometimes it's not as straightforward as we would like it to be, because you got to understand business, because some people will tend to put business in their favor versus it being totally fair across the board. And I think we experience that on a consistent basis, and only with experiences do you know what to look out for. So can you hear me?
I think I lost you for a minute. Mr. Blalock, you made some excellent points. I think too is to tie it all in is financial literacy. We got to start actually getting inside these schools, get with our children, and teach them the importance of saving money. I've talked to a young lady that went to TSU that invited me to an event this Friday. And what she's doing, she's getting involved teaching these kids about the stock market and, how to invest their money and how important it is to save your money. Because I think the financial aspect of it, I think we don't understand it. Our race, some of our race don't understand how important it is. We get a dollar and we spend 99 cents of that dollar. We don't understand the importance of keeping a dollar, the importance of even giving back the dollar, the importance of even giving some to your church or just tithing. We don't understand that. So we really need to get back into to the root of what we need to, and that's if we don't get to these children now, just like you guys doing now, somebody else gonna get them. So it's imperative that we get back to the basics, Mr. Blaylock. Us as business owners,
Yep.
getting back to, taking these children under our wings and showing that listen, it's more to it than turning to the streets. It's
Yep.
more to it because we all been in it before. But our parents were blessed enough to take us and say, hey, this the right and the wrong way how to do things.
Exactly.
So I think the stereotyping that we have on our back is just a target, temporary target. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna always be another day. And it's always be another day to fight.
Yep.
And what you did with your team, that flat and that is that listen, that was beyond. I was so elated. Not supposed to be in there, but I couldn't make it, and because of what happened.
And
But
all the flight issues.
yeah,
But you
yes,
make a good point, and you got a chance to come to the first Land of Golden Sunshine event we just did at TSU for that very explanation you just gave as far as financial literacy and just exposure to foundational things that you don't learn in a classroom traditionally, right? Um, and it was interesting to hear college students that had never been introduced to the concepts of savings or investing or understanding it. They've heard those words, but to truly understand, how do I save where it's in my beneficial favor versus how do I invest and how do I do some of these other things that I hear so much about, but no one has ever sat me down to explain it. I think it's very important. I think it's a gap. I think that that gap has widened in some of our communities, unfortunately. I think individuals like yourself who have been doing a tremendous job taking the individuals under their wing, but you can't do it all. Our arms are only so big, but the more we can expand our reach, the better off we can get to some of these kids and lead them down a different pathway. So, Land of Golden Sunshine was financial literacy, how to prepare for an interview, what's the dress for success, how your social media can impact you. That's a big thing that all of our kids are so heavily into social media, which we didn't necessarily grow up with, but we are now a part of. But they don't understand how comments and posts follow them because employers, or even trying to be an entrepreneur and you're trying to get a bank loan for your business, people look at what you have posted and it can impact you, and just simple things and lessons along those lines of what follows you. Because once you have printed and sent it, it's there on the internet. It's no delete forever. Someone has it. So I think a lot of those life lessons are foundational things that we need to bring. The entrepreneurial spirit, man, I have to commend you. When we came out of college, sir, just so you know, I was watching my friend how you started out in the subway, and the entrepreneurial spirit, followed several of us, and there were a lot of life lessons in that. I like you mentioned in the opening, me being a co-owner of two Zaxby franchises in the Tampa area, and learning the restaurant business was a challenge because you can get support from good franchises, but that support still only goes so far. I mean, you're still having to build a business, you're still having to train individuals, you're still having to run things that you may not have been exposed to in order to be successful. And understanding what contracts really mean, because I've seen people in our industry who have had what we can consider bad deals and unfortunately have lost out on their opportunities because they didn't understand the deal they were getting into. They didn't understand how those franchisors control the narrative, and they didn't have an opportunity up front to change the narrative. We know now, based on our experience and time being in this, that you can negotiate things up front. You don't necessarily have to take the cookie cutter approach that may have been presented to you if you know how to handle yourself and negotiate a contract. But man, there's a lot of horror stories out there of individuals who lost a lot. I won't say everything, but it feels like everything. It depends on the scenarios, right? And so trying to do those things and do it the right way doesn't always manifest because you could be in a bad deal. And so bad deals can follow you for a long time. Hopefully we get some of those individuals that you and I know that can come on and share some more of their personal stories. But man, going to court over your franchise deal is not fun. And so, but yeah, we can definitely get into depth of how you look for the pitfalls or the red flags in order to try to stay on the successful end. Did I lose you?
Yeah, I lost you, but go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what, Mr. Blalock, you summed it up in a way that every guest from Mr. Thompson on, he's a franchisee. And at the end of the day, it's about the franchisor admitting to, hey, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let's sit down this table and resolve because it don't have to take going to court. It don't have to take, in the business you're in, it's about having a meeting of the minds,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that it's not always the franchisee fault. Because I'm gonna repeat that. If you're in a franchise system, the number one thing the franchisor are gonna say is that you're not a good operator.
Mm-hmm.
Once they say that, you almost doomed.
Yeah.
So it's important when you get into a franchise system, you have to follow the system. That's why
Mm-hmm.
it's called a system. This is their sandbox. So we
Mm-hmm.
just in it to play in it. But at the end of the day, without us, it's no system. Without the franchisee, is no system. So I think it's imperative that if a franchisor that's why, Mr. Bell, like I talked to you about creating this show, because you have a lot of franchisees and business owners, they scared to talk about the truth because
Mm-hmm.
of retaliation or whatever the case may be, but they're frightened by the fact that they don't want to talk about it. I
Mm-hmm.
talk to business owners now. They don't want to talk about it. But let me explain something to you. I have seen the ups and the downs.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen the ups and the downs. So when we come speaking to you, we talking about facts. We're
Mm-hmm.
not just telling you stuff we pulling out the sky. We telling you about how things are to get a business loan, how to
Mm-hmm.
pay sales taxes, how to pay
Mm-hmm.
payroll. See, they don't know. People think that, oh, we open the doors up. No, it's other things behind operating a business
Oh
that
yeah.
you have to know. Either you got to have the two important people you got to have first in business is a good CPA and a good lawyer. If
And
you
stop
don't,
right there, good brother. If you don't have a good CPA, you got problems. And you won't even realize it until it's tax time, how big your problems are. I mean, you hit it right on the head. The attorney, CPA being the foundation of your business, because there's so many other aspects that you are trying to be a great operator in your space. You cannot be any and everything because it's not your core competency. Your competency should be operating the business day to day. Who's doing your CPA work? Who's the attorney looking at your contracts? All of those types of things are not your core, but they're necessary. They are the backbone of what makes your deal a good deal or a bad deal. They are the backbone of understanding when you file your taxes that you maximize your position or minimize your position. Were you able to maximize the dollar you were able to keep, or did you give away more dollars in a tight business? You know this better than me right now. The restaurant business is very tight, very, very tight. And if you're not, operating within those margins of success, you're doomed for failure at some juncture. It may not manifest immediately, but bad practices eventually catch up with you. I tell people all the time, there's only a few things you can control. The uncontrollables are always going to be there. But your food costs, and you mentioned Smashin Crab. Smashin Crab is a seafood concept, and we know this. Seafood is the highest food cost. So you got to be a good operator or you're going to lose tremendous amounts of dollars because your operation isn't doing well. The other thing is labor costs. So if you got people that work a lot of overtime, things of that nature, or they're necessarily not in line with the practices you want in place to be a sound business, meaning culturally, all of those other things, your labor costs will impact your bottom line, period, point blank. But those are the two main levers. The other one is your culture that you get to control. Pretty much everything else are uncontrollables, but are necessary for the business to survive.
I lost you. Can you hear me? I think I
Yeah, I
lost
hear you.
you.
I
Okay.
got
Yeah, you right there summed it up. Summed it up. And two is what we got to be. See, a lot of people don't understand that, like you said, restaurant, we have a thin profit margin,
you. Mm-hmm.
very thin profit margin. And I tell people, I say, listen, I tell my team, I give them 100 pennies. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. You take 33 pennies away. That's for your
Mm-hmm.
food costs.
Right.
Take 25 cents away for your labor costs. Take
Mm-hmm.
X. By the time it get down to the pennies on the table, probably 5 pennies
Yeah.
out of every dollar. So
Yeah.
so 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 then you go back to the labor aspect. You go back to now. I feel for the folks in California and other states. Minimum wage up to $20 an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, now we get back to now that the economy is really going one way, and we're not going to talk about the politician part. It's going another way.
Right.
So you look at it now. When your competitors start going to $5 meals, it's a problem.
Oh yeah.
It's a problem. You're going to start seeing full service restaurants go out of business. You're going to start seeing casual dining. You're going to curious. A lot of restaurants going to start going out of business because guess what? Food costs is at a high.
Oh yeah.
Labor cost is steady, just creeping up.
Yep.
And those are things that you can control. But one thing you can't control is the ever changing labor laws. That's another thing people got to be cognizant of the fact. We have strict labor laws that we have to adhere to,
Yep.
and we do not deviate from it. You got to pay your people minimum wage, right?
Yep.
You listen. You got to pay them hourly plus overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Salary. Now, if you got a salary manager or salary GM in your establishment, their salary is going up. They just went up July, and it's going up again
Yeah.
next year.
Yep.
So we are in a pickle that we're gonna need the next leader to come in, and I'm just not talking about business. I'm just talking about the economy as a whole, right? To
Yeah.
step in and make amends for what we're trying to do and we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you get back to that $5 meal, when you got your competitors doing it, it's a problem. It's a
Yes.
problem, and it's gonna be a problem that I don't see probably to what another year.
Oh,
You see
easily
another
enough.
year,
Maybe a little longer.
a
Maybe a
longer.
little longer. Because to your point, what people don't understand, yes, on one end, you know, minimum wage has gone up in some of these areas, but the part they don't understand, when you go to that restaurant, somebody's going to pass that cost somewhere because the restaurant doesn't have a lot of margin to take in or take account for that. So now all of a sudden, the meal when you were at a nice fine dining or full service restaurant before, and it might have cost you 25, $30 a plate, it's going to cost you 50, $60 a plate. It's going to double in a lot of areas. I mean, we saw that in the Smashin Crab arena, where when the food costs went up, we went from paying for king crab, where we were probably in that $29 to $30 range a case, and that money went up double and sometimes a little higher than double. So we had to contemplate of even taking that off the menu because who's going to pay for $80 a pound of king crab? But when you go to one of these nice restaurants and you look at king crab on the menu and you're only getting a quarter of a pound and it's costing you $70, that's a lot of money for a little bit of food. Did I lose you?
I think I lost you.
Yeah.
You know what? I went to a restaurant about the other day, I think. One day last week, went to a restaurant and the waitress, she gave me my food. I said, ma'am, I ain't order no kids meal. What is this? I said, I didn't order no kids meal. She said, well, we cut our portions down. I said, Lord have mercy. I know
Yep.
I'm gonna have to eat me a bowl of cereal somewhere when I get to the house because there's no way this. And I got a baked potato, right?
Yeah.
I said, I want the mama baked potato. I don't want the baby baked
The
potato,
baby
man.
baked
Can you help me
potato.
out here, please? Somebody help me, please. But anyway,
Exactly.
like you said, people don't understand that the commodities and things continue to go up in restaurants, and we continue to get at a pivotal point in the restaurant industry, and just imagine independent owners, just like you guys that don't have a buying power or a
Right.
co-op or just like what we have as a franchise system. We just went to another distributor to try to maximize the cost for the franchisees because I'm
Oh
telling
yeah.
you, we need all we can get right now, as far as that, and try to cut costs where we can. And then two is I'm gonna tell you what I'm seeing too with a lot of franchisors, and I don't know if you've seen it too. A lot of them struggling with brand identity,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they losing sight of value.
Yep.
They sacrificing the quality for other things, and they losing the sight on value. Why were you established?
Yep.
Just like with your brand, we know what your brand is about. The quality is always consistent and so forth
Right.
and so on. But then you got other folks that's in the industry, just say mom and pops or whatnot. They don't have the buying power. So
Yep.
so so that's the purpose of being part of a franchise system. But the franchise system got to understand at the end of the day, it's no system without us. And I keep repeating it. And some of them don't realize that until one day they start closing their doors and they'll see.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think that what's important for us to understand and realize that we as business owners, Mr. Blalock, and that's why I thank God for you coming on this show, shedding light on how you involved with, your daughter's flag football team and getting them involved at an early age, and how we need to get our community involved. And a business I put in the neighborhood for a reason to
Yeah.
give back, just like a
To give back.
church. And
To
that's
give.
why I asked my pastor on the show with him is why are so many churches in these communities are not giving back?
Mm.
And hey, he gave a great point. But at the end of the day, we as business owners, we got to do more.
Yeah.
I don't care where you are. You can
Yep.
be in wherever the United States. We got to start getting back into these schools. We got to start giving back more. We got to
Yep.
start. I mean, you know what? If you're gonna, we're gonna. I'm going to Sharp Elementary School in Memphis, Tennessee, on next week. My classmates and we're going to adopt that school. And I'm telling you something, we're just not going to adopt that school just to say we adopt that school. We're gonna make a positive impact on that school system. My
Mm.
daughter, Miss Bobby, and my team, they're gonna get tired of seeing this face. So
I
if
love it.
you get tired of seeing my face coming on these lines, you don't have to tune in. But I'm telling you something. I'm going to continue to walk in the steps that God ordered me to walk in.
Oh yeah.
If you like it or not, like one young lady said, she don't like my shirts. I said, if you don't like my shirts, go buy me another because I like my
Exactly.
shirts. How about
Exactly.
that? But it's a joke. It was a joke. But
Yeah.
if you don't like what we have to come on and say, because I'm telling you something, we could be doing other things with our time,
Oh, you better believe it.
but that's not what God ordered for us to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
I
to your
had a
point,
guest. Go ahead,
to
go
your
ahead. Yes, sir. Go, Mr. Blow.
to
Go
your
ahead.
point, brother said, my I have been, and you and I talk about this. My whole mantra is help as many people as I can, and I'm not looking for a return. If it happens, it's reciprocal, great. But if I can introduce somebody to someone else that helps them on their path, or if I can give somebody some information that's going to help them, or I can take a kid or a young person that's in the industry, corporate industry, and lead them in a direction that helps them long term, that's satisfying. That's God's work to me. I think being good to people, we have lost sight of that. This social society has lost sight of trying to help each other, truly trying to help each other, not trying to help somebody and take something out of their back pocket. I'm saying truly trying to help someone move to the next step in the best manner that you can, and see how they flourish. That's good enough for me. Our girls that just won the championship, I was so happy to see them happy. I was so happy that this has, for the foundation of what we were doing, young ladies building self confidence and self esteem in a society that tries to tear them down on a consistent basis. I'm going to give you a crazy story, said. So there's this stat that is out there that if a female in corporate America goes for a job in corporate America, 9 times out of 10, they will not apply for that job unless they have at least 90% or higher for all of the qualifications that were listed. Do you know what that same percentage is if a man applies for a job? What's crazy is if a guy thinks he has 40%, he's going to apply for that job. So you start thinking about the self-esteem and the self-confidence in these young ladies that feel that they have to have everything, and they're competing against someone, a male that's standing right next to them, that has less than 50% of the qualifications, and they're still not getting the jobs or the pay. So for me to get involved with flag football is to induce the conversation with these young ladies to build them up and not tear them down, because there's so many other avenues that's trying to tear them down.
I think I lost you.
I'm here.
Can you,
Yep.
that was incredible. That was an incredible stat. And I just think that we got to continue to take these young kids, they're queens. They are
Yeah.
queens, and we got to treat them as such. We got to be more respectful to our women. We got to
Yep.
get back to the basics of you know what? I look at a person, how you treat your mother.
Mm,
How
mm,
you treat your mother is a strong characteristic of how you treat another woman or another
mm,
human being. How you treat your family, humanity, how you get. I'm tell you something. It's always a blessing to be a blessing. It's always better to give out the blessing to receive at the end of the
yeah.
day. And I think that with that stats that show you we got a long way to go.
Oh
We
my
got a
God.
long way to go in a short time to get there. Because if we don't understand and realize the facts, we got to listen. We got to get back to the facts of why things are happening the way it happened, right?
Mm-hmm,
We
mm-hmm,
got to get to the basics of that. Let's listen. And I was just talking to a young man, and don't get me wrong, I applaud everybody out here that's doing that backpack drive. Trust me, I'm trying to help as many as I can possibly can help them. But
mm-hmm,
at the end of the day, we all can come together as one, as
mm-hmm,
unity to do it together. And
mm-hmm.
let's not forget about Mr. Blalock that they also need clothes.
Yeah,
Clothes.
I was gonna say, say
What's a backpack?
what goes inside the backpack?
Where they got their utensils and things. But
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
about school clothes?
Exactly. Exactly.
What about the necessities of that you need to do to wear out to go to school? So so
Exactly.
so I think what you said was We got to continue to educate.
Yep.
You know, Mr. Blalock, I pray that one day you and I, Mr. Sterling Coleman, a lot of our brothers that was on Resurrection 37 can get together because we had a powerful line.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, listen, hands down, we are one of the most powerful line ever that crossed Tennessee State University.
Oh yeah.
And we all need to get together and start helping people more. Not
Agreed.
about the money. We're
Agreed.
gonna do it pro bono. We're gonna start helping them write their business plan. We're gonna
Yep.
start helping them how to negotiate. The red flags, if you want to do a franchisor, the red flags, the don't, I mean the do's and don'ts. Because guess
Exactly.
what? We've been there, guys. We've
Exactly.
been there. We've been there for so many years, and that's what we got to get back to, good brother, is a line. Because listen, I'm telling you, we got not only in business, we got, like Dietrich McCall. He started his average taco. Even though I like it, I love what he's doing, but he's a cowgirl fan. But no offense to the cowgirl. I love him. But different brothers like that need to be celebrated. You got
Yeah.
brother Lee Smith that's doing something. You got brother Anthony Owens. I can go on. I mean, I can go on and on and on to the break of dawn.
Oh
So
yeah. You
we
think
got
about like Kurt Moore. He's a chief of
Kurt
police
Moore.
in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I mean, you got all of these brothers, like you said, and we're all in these different spaces doing our thing. You got Tony Wells that just started his own corporation and started to
Correct.
do business. You got these elements, and like you said, the collective is stronger than the individual at the end of the day. The collective will always be stronger. And we already have a unit that has been successful at all of our individual lives. And now it's a matter of now coming collective. I am with you 100% that we need to help more and it be pro bono and it's impacting lives that we can help them move the next step and then go from there. I'm with you.
You, you, I think I lost you, but I think I caught the tail.
Yeah, I was going to
You
say,
there?
and then you got, because you start naming these individuals, you got a person like Chuck West, who is high
Yes.
up within Morgan Stanley's family with Greystone Financials, and he's a financial guy, knows finance inside and out. And I know he has efforts where he tries to help young people that want to be in the finance industry, but we should now take that to the next level, financial literacy, and all those types of things. You mentioned the Joe Johnsons and the Sterlings of the world who have entrepreneurial type things that go on. The list goes on and on of things that we can do, man. And I'm with you. I think I think it's just a matter of us, buckling down and really being strategic about the collective as well.
Amen.
I got you. Go ahead.
I think I lost you. And then we got Dr. Roderick Richmond.
Oh yeah.
He is over in the Memphis and Shelby County school system doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the partnerships. We got good brothers like that out there. And then you go outside of that. You got Dr. Derek D. Payne that's doing big things in the Memphis
Yeah.
community. I
Yeah.
mean, those are things that we can collaborate as unity. If we come together as one, it's about, you know what? The goal is the goal.
Yeah.
It's not about me, you, nobody else. It's about these children. It's about us making a positive impact. Because I'm gonna tell you something. At the end of time, God gonna judge you. And when he
Yes.
judge you, he not gonna judge you about how many restaurants you had, how many
No.
business you had, how many, I don't care. He gonna say, I had 1 million followers. God don't care about that. He want to know how many followers you had in my bank. How
Yeah.
much blessings did you put in my bank?
Yeah.
That's what he gonna want to see, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys right now. I've heard young lady tell me we was in a beauty shop talk about me. I love when you talk about me. They
Mm-hmm.
talked about me with Red Robin. But look at
Mm-hmm.
me now. Look what God did for me with
Yeah.
me and my family.
Yeah.
He took me and said, listen, I'm not done with you yet, son.
Yeah.
I'm not done with you yet. So listen, I want you to get out and do what I need you to do because that's what I got you here on this earth to do.
And
Right?
I'm gonna tell you what's interesting. I was just talking to our line brother Michael Moore, who kind of led me down the. You know me because we talked about it leading into the weekend. I was a little apprehensive, and he said, "Look, man, I need you to go up there and minimize the mistakes, do what you do well, and your girls are going to perform." Those with daughters, because his daughter's about to go off to college, his oldest is, and his youngest is now embarking on high school, and we start having these real conversations, and him being a real guy. I mean, just a real dad that really cares, but he cares about the community. What you just hit on was God doesn't care about the success on this, on all of this, what you got in your bank account, if you didn't help somebody else build their blessing bank account. You know, Marvin Freeman being one of the smartest guys I've ever met. Very similar thought process of being in tune to your surroundings and understanding how to uplift people around you is more important than all this other stuff. But people don't see it that way, you know, and we got to help them see it. But I'm with you 100%, man. I think that we got to be more intentional about what we're doing. I'm trying my best to do that, through the TSU family, that arm of being on the foundation board. And you have been a large contributor for a number of years. People don't know. I'm gonna tell on you, Sedrick. I'm gonna tell on you on how much you give back to the university and to the band, because you were part of the baddest band in the land in the AOB. And how many kids did you have helped and provided meals to and travel and all of that, because you want to see them successful in a university environment. All of those things are what you're talking about that we got to do more of. You look at the HBCUs versus PWIs, and why do PWIs have more money? Well, we're not conditioned to give back. Well, that's a mental condition. We can change that narrative. We try to find excuses not to give back, but you have moved the bond way beyond those hurdles of the tidbits that we all dealt with while we were in school, and said, look, I'm gonna give back anyway, and I'm gonna give back in this manner, and I'm gonna make sure that these kids are doing well. And it's a testament to see the magnitude of impact you have had over the years, especially within the band and what you've done for the university. I commend you for what you have done, seen and unseen, because it's been more unseen that people are sitting there talking about you in a beauty shop and all that kind of stuff. They have no clue the amount of money you have donated on the levels you've donated and not gotten any credit for it. But guess what? I know you, because you are a behind the scenes guy. You don't look for credit. Now, we should do better in all aspects of that. But regardless, when you start looking at and you go down the line of individuals that can help and have help, and they continue to do great things, you are definitely at the top of that list, my brother. I'm just telling you, you have done a lot, and I appreciate it. I commend you. I look up to you in a lot of ways, my brother, on that, because you have laid a groundwork that is unprecedented. And we got to do more of that by teaching them. And you come back in every scenario when it's been students, and if I say, hey, we're doing this, and the students are going to get exposed to X, Y, and Z, say, you're the first one there. Where I need to be, you're the first one there. And I appreciate all the support. It's been brothers that supported this past weekend, the Billy Kings of the world, the Mike Goins of the world, all of these guys who were like, hey, I see what you're doing from a distance. I want to make sure, even though I'm not there, I gotta try to help out. The Mike Mowers of the world, with the inspirational messaging that we got to instill in our kids. It is unreal. Charles Trauber, Dedrick Perry from some of the younger lines, Dr. Lavelle Allen, who's doing great things at Vanderbilt. All of these cats were like, we believe in what you got going on, and we want to try to help as much as we can. And I think that's important, man. I think the collective, it will always be stronger no matter what the social or political climate is. We got to be able to try to look out for our own. I hear you.
Mr. Blalock, I appreciate those kind words, and I'm a type of guy. I don't want any credit, because God knows my heart. He knows what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, well, you on Facebook and you did, because I want you to know what we're doing positively to impact the community. I want you guys to know that, right? And you do a lot too, and you inspire me to do better. You should inspire me to do a lot what I do for our university, because I see what you're doing for the foundation. I see what you're doing for all the students. I see what you do for my saints, our fraternity. I see a lot of things you do. So I appreciate your leadership and how you do things and how you move. And I do want to bring to a point of generational wealth. That's what's important, and that should be on your list.
Mm.
Generational wealth, where we can pass down something to our kids. I'm training my daughter Alex and Kennedy right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? That the first thing I remember my professor asked me in the School of Business, and brother Alan Holden, he knows who you want to work for. You know
Mm.
what I told Dr. Elsie? I don't want to work for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Myself. If you can make all these companies millions, you can make the millions for yourself.
Yep.
So we gotta get back to the ground. That's what others do. I'm
Yep.
not gonna say others do it. We got to understand that when we leave this earth, we don't want to make sure our kids are well taken care of, so they can leave some generational wealth for their kids. And
Right.
that's what it's about. That's why a lot of people didn't, you know what? That's why a lot of people didn't see me around like at time back in the day. I can tell you because
Right.
I was trying to build this groundwork now so I can do these things I need to do right now to
Yep.
give back,
Yep.
to be a light. I want to be a beacon of light in the communities. I want to be a beacon of light in kids' life. And I'm gonna tell you this story. In my daughter's graduation candidate, she graduated from St. Agnes School. And I told her and her friend what I wanted them to do. And they said, what? I want you guys to be a beacon of light for other children that are not blessed like you guys are. Not
Mm.
blessed like a lot of kids that go on to St. Agnes School. You need to be a beacon of light. Get into their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You train them. Listen, you train them up now, you won't have no problem. Because
Exactly.
if you see these kids, I don't care what race they're in, that's how they was trained. That's how
Yep.
they was brought up, right?
Yep.
And if we don't get back to the basics of understanding that if we don't come together as one,
Yep.
we're gonna be lost.
You're gonna
We
be
we
real.
we're not gonna that's why I keep telling folks right now, it's 2024, and I have to work 25 times harder than my counterpart.
Yep.
Repeat, I have to work, no matter how much I prove myself over again, Mr. Blalock, I still don't get a seat at the table.
Agreed.
But you know what? I look at these kids today, they won't have a seat at the table if we don't fight for equality.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not talking about making no excuses for, oh, I'm this, that, and the third of your race, your color. No, that's not an excuse because excuses are tools of incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
They're monuments of nothingness. And those of us who use them, what?
Still them amount to anything.
So listen, don't, and that's one of my pet peeves from my team. I'd rather for you don't say anything than to give me an excuse.
Exactly.
Don't give me an excuse because I know you can do it. I know you can do it. That's why I do the things for them. I
Mm-hmm.
love my team. I love my family. But see, here's the thing, Mr. Blaylock. Go back again to generation wealth. Generational wealth is going to be the key.
Yep.
Education going to be the key. Financial literacy going to be a key. Getting back into church, getting back to these schools. That's going to be the key. I
Yep.
mean, you could put all the money you want into crime, fighting crime in the city. That's not going to help.
It's not gonna help.
You know why? Because we don't have the programs like the Flex Auto Glass we're trying to do, this, trying to bring in a gentleman to come in and partner with him where we can train these youngsters a career. That's
Yes.
the problem. Everybody,
Yes.
they don't want to go to college. They
Right.
want a career. They need a career, guys. That's
Yep.
why it's important for us to do these things. That's why I put that out on my page.
Yep.
Say what you want to say, but I don't care what you say because God gonna judge me at the end. You can judge me all you want, but at the end of the day, you need to come on in this train and join in as one so we can get. I can stop. You know what? Stop. Let's stop talking about it and be about it. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of being part of the problem, let's be part of the solution. And we
Mm-hmm.
know what the solutions are. Fighting crime with money is not gonna help. I mean, no disrespect to no one, mayor or governor. Or what, fight. Listen, throwing money at it, it's gonna make it worse.
Right.
These kids need the education. They need the support from us. They need to see us more. We got
Yep.
a lot of business people out here that's scared. They're
Yep.
scared to come into the community. They're
Yes.
scared to go down to the Westwood Community Center. I go down with them faithfully. It don't feel frightened not one time in my life. Because guess what? God covers me. He gonna continue to cover me. He gonna cover you and your family. So why be scared?
Yes,
Be scared.
exactly. And I'm gonna tell you what's interesting that you said that. The reality that people, especially in our community, we gotta understand not only if they don't want to go to college, everyone's not college material. That's just not necessarily the track. And some people are trying to make a financial decision because they can't afford it and they want a prominent alternative. So, like you're just saying, like the auto glass alternative to be trained and that you can still be a productive citizen is huge. To be able to go to another area and get a skill set that now that can't be taken away from you, that's huge because it puts dignity back into the individual and it allows them to still be progressive in their communities and do right. Because you, like you said, the more money you put into fighting crime, but you're not putting those young kids in a position where they can be successful, there's always going to be crime. There's not enough money in the world to stop all the crime. It's just not. But if you start developing these young people, giving them opportunities that they can really build on, now you have an opportunity to build a progressive community that will be self-sustaining and they will be proud of what they got going on. Now, you do have the other side. You have students that are college material, they want to do well. Your daughter did very well in college. My son, he's in the Dr. Levi Watkins program at TSU, doing very well, pre-med student, going to be at Meharry. But you know what I'm most proud of? When you tell me, man, I had a conversation with Robbie, and Robbie seems like he's on point. He's being a leader amongst his peers. His peers are good people to be around because we know the people you're around can influence the things that you're involved in. And I'm super proud that that's what he does on a consistent basis. He's looking for the good in people. So it's not just the classroom, it's all of these other pieces that go with it in order to make a whole person. Thing about our daughters, we being girl dads, the young ladies that they hang with are important. The young ladies that they can influence, like you said to your daughter and her friend, that I want you to be a blessing and a beacon of light to others who are not as blessed as you are. That's so important because now they can provide information from a different voice because some kids ain't gonna listen to us because they're gonna say whatever. We old, we're out of touch. But when your peer is saying it to you, when your peer is saying, hey, you know what? My dad was telling us that we should think about investing. Let's do some research. All of a sudden, when Robbie calls me and says, hey, I'm trying to figure out what's the real estate game about. And I can put him on the phone with someone like yourself that owns a lot of real estate or some of our other friends that are huge in the real estate. It helps create a narrative that doesn't just come from a parent, but it comes from a person that loves to see people succeed. And that's a huge thing. When you're a person that loves to see others succeed and you're not always looking for the glory and you're okay with somebody else getting some shine, man, we're in a better place. And that's been you the whole time, said. You've always been, and I'm going to let a little secret out to the world that people are watching you. Sedrick gets more enjoyment by somebody else having a good time than him himself having that good time. He'll sit back and watch other people have a great time. Now, he may have contributed or provided the environment for that great time on top of that, but he gets enjoyment by those folks experiencing things that they would have never experienced. And that's a beautiful thing, man. We don't have a lot of that. We don't have a lot of that. But man, I love your what you do. I love your kids. You know that, all day. And I'm very proud when I hear from a person like you that, hey, Robbie's doing well. I love it. The conversation I had with Blayla sounds like a grown woman when I talk to her. I love those things because that tells me that I'm on the path of trying to position them. I'm not going to have every answer, but if I can expose them to other people like you that can give them answers along the way, because there's no silver bullet. And some people think, like you said earlier, if I can shoot a good jump shot or I can run real fast, that's the silver bullet to get out of our neighborhoods. And that's not always true. We know all about great athletes that either got injured or got deterred along the pathway and they didn't have a skill set to maintain a lifestyle. or even those who did make it and then they're broke years after the fact because they didn't know how to maintain the dollar, or they got with the wrong people that were basically taking everything they had because they didn't know how to read their financial statements or understand their investments or understand what the magnitude of the CPAs and lawyers that were in their life were doing to them. All of that is a factor, man. But I really appreciate the platform for sure.
Like I appreciate you too.
Yep. Yep. This has been awesome, man. And anytime you want me on here, I'm there.
And I appreciate it. We're gonna walk the walk and talk the talk. And can you hear me, Mr.
Yeah.
Blalock?
Oh yeah.
We're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
we're gonna continue though. And I appreciate what you're saying. It means a lot to me. And a lot of people don't know you, don't know me, but they're gonna be seeing a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to see us, and two is, I'm going back to what you said about I do like to have people sit there and have fun, but sometimes I get there and shimmy too. Now. I can
So
get there and shimmy, but no, but anyway, but like I said, important is the entrepreneurship, trade, and technical skills.
yeah.
Those are important. And the important thing behind all of this, Mr. Blaylock, is what you said. Surrounding yourself around good people who share your vision and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Fred Smiths of the world, those guys got people that's smarter in their circles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we want to train these kids up to do. I mean, it ain't because see, people, we got that crab in a bucket mentality.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've been hearing that lately, crab in the bucket, man. It's a true statement.
It
Until
is.
we get out of that crab in the bucket mentality, because I'm telling you something, I'm telling you right here today, it's never too late. It's never too late to, first of all, turn your life over to Christ.
Exactly.
We all been down before. Man,
Amen
I
to that.
down and shut in where what I just didn't want to leave the house. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but that wasn't the right way. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the right way how you resolve your issue. You,
Mm-hmm.
you, you get back to the basics of your faith and your religion and how your how God and your family teaches you, how your mom and dad raised you. Drop on your knees.
Yep.
Pray to God. Don't pray to God when everything is going good. Pray to
Mm-hmm.
God when things going good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Give him all the praises and the glory that he deserved. Because I'm telling you, and I keep saying it, I'm telling you right now that I'm going to devote my time, the time that I do have, because I got a good team that's helping run the business, and with your help, and with some of my other line brothers, and I mean, I don't care what you Alpha or Sigma, it don't matter. It's a lot of intelligent people that went to Tennessee State and all over this world where we can collaborate. We can collaborate together and unify as one. Because I'm telling you something, if we don't do it, it's going to be too late for us.
It
So the
is.
time is now to do it. And Mr. Blaylock, I thank you for all what you said, brother. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your leadership. I'm proud of you as a husband, a family man, and my niece and nephew. They doing real well, and all our line brothers and our families. Our line brothers, we got some talented. Like I keep going back to our line brothers because we got some talented brothers.
My
And
God,
if
yes.
you was and I look at some of the lines that like the Deltas, like the Alphas, the
Mm-hmm.
Qs, and they got some powerful people too. But
Oh yeah.
we so scared to everybody can be recognized.
Mm-hmm.
They want all the glory. But
Mm-hmm.
the saying is everybody want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. Let me repeat
That's for
that.
real.
Everybody want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die.
That's for real. That
So
is that is so real.
we got to get back to helping people.
Yep.
And I got this phone call. I'm gonna share this with you. I got this phone call from a young lady. I don't know how she got my number. I didn't care. She said, "Hey, I'm getting my lights cut off." That's all, really. You get a lot of scams on,
Oh yeah.
these
Oh yeah, for
social
sure.
platforms and whatnot. I said, "Okay." I helped out anyway
Mm.
because you know what? You're not scamming me. You're scamming God.
Oh yeah.
You're not scamming me. So what I'm saying to you is, Mr. Blaylock, we got to tie all this in: faith, business, community, and our children.
Yes.
Because if we don't do it, if we don't formulate right now, if we don't formulate right now, it's gonna be
Yep.
too late because
Yep.
our kids not gonna have a seat at the table.
Yep.
My 16-year-old, she's not gonna have a seat at the table.
Right.
If she do, she's gonna be way at the end.
Mm-hmm.
We don't fight right now. I don't care what color you are. A lot of them not gonna have a seat at the table because they gonna, like you said, stereotype. They're gonna be
Yep.
stereotyped
Yep.
or where they're from or what college or PDF or whatever university attended. It's not all about that. And I
Exactly.
tell people today, Mr. Blalock, I know you can agree with this. I hire a person with multiple years experience than I have a person straight from out of
Oh
college.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
You
Every
know,
time. Every time. Because first of all, experience is priceless on, on one token. And then you just think about, you touched on a few things. We have never been consistently in the room where it happens, where the decisions are made. We use that theme because of Hamilton and the play, but in the room where it happens, we haven't been consistently in those rooms, and we're trying to create spaces where our kids can be in those rooms where decisions are made that are going to impact their lives, and that goes a long way. I mean, and I know you mentioned our line because we do have a lot of talented people right in your backyard. Toby Taylor, Picasso, you know, all of the talent he's had from a graphic design and all of that. I mean, we start thinking about all of the different things that we have done and the trades we have under our belts have been huge in developing where we're at. I was just saw Robert Yarbrough, who has been huge in the military. He has too many secrets for someone to tell because of the things he's done in the military, probably. But I mean, these good people lead people in the right direction, and they try to help folks make good decisions. And I think it goes a long way. Kevin Roberts, who and Kelvin Purtle, who have been huge in the pharmaceutical world, right? Who help people try to figure out pathways, and it doesn't necessarily always take a degree. It takes someone with a sound mindset that's willing to work hard and they're willing to be a part of a culture and make a difference. And that's not always degree bound. It's a skill set, things that you don't need extra talent. Show up on time and have a good attitude. You don't need talent to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a
yeah.
whole bunch of money in the bank to do those two things.
You said a mouthful there. You go back to Toby Taylor. You go back to Kevin Roberts. I saying Kevin Roberts. He was a Memphis police officer, right?
Mm,
And he turned from a police officer to a pharmaceutical rep. You
mm-hmm.
see how you can make that transition? You go back.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you a story about Toby. Coach. They call him Coach Toby Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Toby Taylor was sitting down in Subway in Nashville, a Subway shop in Nashville, Tennessee. This is
Mm-hmm.
a true story. I said, Toby, we need to start us a Subway shop when we graduate from Tennessee State University. This is
Right.
a true story. Called Toby up, do, 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 do. We had them rotary dial phones
Oh
back in the
yeah.
day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I said, Toby, you ready, yo? Nah, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
I said, Toby, for real. So
Yeah.
so that goes to show you that what God has for you is for you.
Yeah.
Our past, our roadmap, God has already had our roadmap is already laid out for us.
Yep.
We gotta first of all be quiet, pray to God, and then listen. You gotta listen what
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to tell you. You know what? God speaks to other people through other people all the time, Mr. Blaylock. He's been speaking through you today to me and to a lot of people that's probably listening.
And
And
listen,
and and
I thank God for that, just for what you just said. I pray every morning that we're around good people. One thing that Darnell Crawley used to say to us, well, people used to say, it's interesting. People used to I'll tell you this quick story about Crawley. A couple of people have said this separate and apart that didn't even know him like we know him. Man, when Crawley walks in the room, he has a knack for making everyone feel like $1 million. He has a knack for making you feel good about yourself, just in his gift of gab of how he greets you, how he interacts with you. And even when he checks you, he has a way of doing it where you still can feel like, okay, I took that in stride and now I can apply it.
hey,
I hear you.
Mr. Blaylock, let me hold on. That Donnell Crawley, we was at homecoming. Let me tell you a joke. Donnell Crawley, we was at homecoming. He saw somebody, I don't know who he was. He said, man, dude, like he done swallowed a vending machine. So what you said is that, but go ahead. I just want to tell you that
No,
joke
that's
about
for real. I mean, and you
Donnell
got all
Crawley
of
is
these talented cats, man. You got
we
Greg
got a lot
Smalley
of we
that's
got a
at
lot of We got a lot
commercial
of them.
financing. You got,
Greg
one person that,
Smalley,
yeah,
Greg
that keeps
Smalley,
us. Oh, listen, you and your Greg
Scat,
Smalley
the
story.
Scat Man.
Scat, who has been talented in all the things he's done, and I think he's starting to do podcasts to try to help kids and explain different things from just his experiences. And you got Roy Woods, who kind of keeps us honest on mental health and the things that he's doing, even though he's overseas, but trying to keep us sane and on point with our health and our visits to doctors and things of that nature. That is very, very important. But yeah, I mean, we name these people top to bottom. Spice being an attorney and always providing advice and being that guy that just will give it to you straight. You got to appreciate what we have, but the collective is stronger than the individual. And I know you listen. Don't forget about mentioning, we'll mention Damon, but mention your boy Earl Presley because he gonna give you a call.
EPMD, you call me, I'm putting you on block. Don't call me. No, I'm just kidding. Earl was Earl Talent, Anthony Owens, them football players. So they understand the importance of, it's a life after football. Anthony Owens,
Yeah.
EPMD, Earl Presley, who else
Yeah. Lee
was
Smith.
on that line? Lee
Yeah.
Smith, Lee Smith. They understand Lee Smith, talented. He's in law enforcement and in the greater Chicago area. And
Yeah.
two, one thing about Lee Smith, I saw Lee Smith. I'm tell you this joke. We stayed behind for summer. We didn't go home. Somebody did something to Lee. I don't know. Oh, some guy smacked Lee in the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
He, I said, Lee, don't do it. Please don't do it, Lee. He said, I'm not gonna do it. Next thing I know, he hit that man so hard, the man flew off his feet. I said, Lee, you said you want to do it. He said, say it my fault. My fault. Let me go here and pray in the corner. I said, Lee, you are tripping. But anyway, we could talk about it. And, I talk, like, here's the thing I think I shared on the podcast, Mr. Blalock. When we get, and I'm saying when we get to a place that we want to go into life, we don't get back in it. I went to a gentleman that owned mostly all the McDonald's in Memphis, Tennessee, when I tried to start my business. He told me he had time to talk to me. And you know what? I didn't get disappointed. I vow not to be like that ever in life.
Yep.
And I look how talented, look how successful how Mr. Sterling Coleman is in my sayings, my back. How I can tell you a story. I was sitting in my office at Red Robin, get a call. So who's that?
Yeah.
Sterling. Said, I need you. So what you need? Need you to no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look how what he's done. Look what he's done with Zaxby.
Oh my God.
Look how he's prospered. Because guess what? That's what we got to do more of. I'm telling you, and I repeat, that's what we got to do more of. And you know what? I helped a young lady do a business plan. You know what she said? How much you owe me? She said, how much I owe you? I said, nothing. She said, for real? I said, only thing I want you to do is help the next person.
Exactly. Pay it forward. Pay
it forward. Help the next person get to where you trying to get. And guess what? That's how we can get, listen, guys, unity. We keep going back to unity.
Yeah.
And we keep talking about it. We keep preaching it. So I'm telling you right now, what we're gonna do that with your help, Mr. Blaylock, I'm gonna need your help with the flex auto class. That's first thing. We're gonna set up shop where we can come on and we're gonna start helping people form their own business. Right? We're gonna start doing business plans and all that for you. Mr. Blaylock, you go ahead. I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead, keep on talking. I gotta plug up the computer, but keep on talking and kind of share like to.
No, yeah, I want to share a couple of stories. So it's interesting when you mention Sterling, because Sterling being our Sands and very successful in the Zaxby's franchisee, and all over the place in Atlanta as far as the things he's done and impacting that community. It's interesting that, when Sterling reached out to you, because then I turned around and reached out to Sterling, and Sterling helped me out. He's the reason I got into Zaxby. Sterling said, hey, you need to come to Atlanta, see what I got going on. You an entrepreneur spirit, and I'm going to help you. And it's helped me and it's reciprocal from the help you gave and then the help he's given me, and I've helped others. And I think it's a huge thing that we have to reciprocate. But like you were just describing, man, I have no problem helping folks out, build a business plan or their resume, understanding what's going on, how to prepare for an interview, how to prepare to have a conversation with your banker. You know, there's some young entrepreneurs down here that they were trying to get their business off the ground, and I'm trying to help them understand the relationship with the bank and what the importance is about that and why you're not necessarily you didn't get the loan initially, but now here if you do these things, how you can get the loan. Because we're not in some of those rooms where these decisions are being made and you feel frustrated and you go back home and you feel defeated, but there's other ways of doing it. And your experiences and our experiences can help them lead them to a path of success. So I'm definitely down, my brother, of helping out and helping those folks easily. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, on the next show, I want you to be on the next show with me. We gonna have next up is our Sands, Mr. Gregory Smalley.
Oh,
We're
I
gonna have
love
him. So you're gonna be on the show with me, and
it. Okay.
then I'm a double back. I got a professional basketball player
Okay.
that plays for a well-known team that's a franchisee that nobody knows about and
Oh,
very
wow.
intelligent. You're not gonna want to miss that. He's very intelligent.
Oh, I'm down.
He got a $70 million contract. But guess what? When you talk to him, you'll never know because
Mm,
he that type of person that we need in our circle to help us
yes.
to what we're going to get to, right?
Yep.
From him, I'm talking to Hotworks franchisee,
Mm,
Miss Erica Blair. She's a Delta with at Tennessee State. She started the Young Entrepreneur, Young Wall Street that she's doing a great job at. That's one I'm gonna be at on Saturday.
okay.
You got different. You got some realtors out here that's doing a big too.
Oh, yeah.
You got Valencia Gap, right?
Yep.
She is doing a great job. Her
Yep.
realtor. She's doing. I mean, you got Cynthia Maria. We got a lot of people that's doing this. That's doing a real good job. Lonnie, Lonnie, new
Yeah, I
Lonnie.
know
He's
Lonnie.
doing.
Lonnie Allen. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Lonnie.
Lonnie Allen. So these the people that's going to be on this show. I mean, we just want to give you tidbit. We want to drop some nuggets. We want to
Yep.
drop some wisdom it's not easy. It's not easy
And
doing
you
what
know
we
who
do.
else we're gonna add to your list? We're gonna add
Who is that?
Dedrick Perry
Yep,
because
there's your pair.
how he flips hospitals, I had never even known that that was possible, but that's what he does.
Good.
You
We
know,
need to
and
get
so
brother
I
there.
think that would be huge. I mean, he's huge in the real estate game as well, but very, very proud of that young man. And then there's a number of others we'll add to your list without a doubt.
We need to. And guess what, guys? I'm not getting paid for none of this. I don't care nothing
No,
about this
no, we're
stuff.
doing this
Hey,
for love.
we doing this out of love. I don't listen. These are likes and the loves and the hearts we need.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about us trying to show off. You know what? We doing this. We doing this for a purpose. That's
Mm-hmm.
the purpose. Brother Gregory Smalley gonna be on here. I got Miss Camilla. She's a franchisee with the Hot Work. She's gonna be
Okay.
on here. So in Memphis. So it's a lot of people that's talented that needs to be exposed so people know this.
Yes.
Because when I got into Subway, people didn't know I was a franchisee. They didn't know,
Right.
but they needed it. They needed to
Yep.
know. They didn't know with Smashin Crabs and with Zaxby's and
Yep.
I got to get Sterling, Mr. Coleman out of his shell. People need to know his story because
Yep.
he's been some ups and downs. We all have. But
Exactly.
these are stories we need to share. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I mean, there's a lot of people that I want to bring on to the show so you can have a space to talk about this.
Yep.
So we can collaborate. And, Dr. Derek Payne and I keep saying that name because Dr. Derek Payne is doing a good job and what he's doing in Memphis. I apologize if I left some people off, but we did. But like all I was saying is, I'm gonna tell you somebody, and I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna tell you a person that who learned a lot from was my mom and dad.
Mm.
And the next person I learned a lot from was my brothers and my saying Stephen Ship.
Mm.
Stephen
Mm.
Ship, I'm just telling you, I saying Stephen Ship, rest his soul. That brother took me under his wings and he showed me the right and the wrong way how to do things. But I chose the right way, not the wrong way. But he was very inspirational in all of our lives because he was the SGA president and he had aspirations to be the next president of the United States. People don't believe what I'm saying right here today, but I think he could have been. That's
Mm.
how smart and intelligent that brother was. So that brother has really.
Listen, and I'm glad you said that because my mom, and my mom has
Mhm.
been an inspiration throughout my life. My dad has passed away, but you know, I got a lot of values from them and my grandparents, just working hard and understanding the family values. So I would be remiss not to mention them. My brother, my little brother Terrence, I would be remiss, someone that knows what a struggle is and trying to fight to get to the next level. And then, my immediate family, man, down here in Tampa, the real folks that I consider good people. My business partner down here in the Zaxby's and Mike Brody and just my real friends, man. It's important to have good people in your circle. That's what I pray for. When I pray every morning, and said, just know you and your family are always in my prayers. But I pray that good people are in our child circles because that's where the influence comes. I tell people all the time, it ain't like when we were growing up and some stranger walks up to you on the street and the next thing you know, you're doing something crazy. It will be your friends that get you in more crazy stuff. So pick good friends. So pick good friends, pick quality people to be around, and then you'll be in quality situations.
Yeah,
So, it's very important that you bring that up and thank my Lord Jesus Christ for everything he's blessed me with, man. And that's the ups and the downs because I learned from the downs in order to appreciate the ups.
man, bro. I appreciate that, too. And I'll be remiss not to say this too. I got to start back to and tell everybody that my brothers, Wendell and William Turner, their partner, Anthony Pittman and Katrina Braden, they started a company back in the day. I don't know if people remember that. If you do, it was called Electronic Concepts. They was one of the first beeper companies in Memphis, Tennessee.
Mm,
One of the first. I don't know if anybody out there hearing me, but Wendell and William and Anthony, they inspired me. And my dad, and two, I'm gonna tell you, and I need to get my dad on the show too, because I'm gonna tell you something about my dad. The mistakes that he did, and I want people to know this. Your friends are not always your friends
exactly.
because he owned a grocery store. And I don't know if people that went to Hamilton High School, it was a little corner store down there by Hamilton High School on that
Mm-hmm.
corner.
Mm-hmm.
He got into business with him and some partners.
Mm-hmm.
One of the partners stole the money and they had to end up going out of business.
Mm,
Then he owned a pool hall in Bone Road Shopping Center in Westwood. Nice pool hall years ago. People know about Bone Road Shopping Center in Westwood.
right.
Closed down because guess what? He had a bad partner that spent all the money.
Stealing the money.
So yeah, stole the money. So I'm tying all of it in together. So my dad, just like you and our dads and fathers,
Mm-hmm.
now we trying to leave some generation wealth for our kids because every business I've worked in, my dad was my partner. He's my
Mm,
partner right here today. He was my partner in my brother's business. And I'm telling you, when I say partner, he worked.
mm,
If you went to Subway in Westwood, they knew about Pops. So
yeah.
whoever went to the Subway in Westwood and saw the man with them big old John Travolta glasses on, that was my dad. So that was my daddy. So what I'm saying to you, you look at all this. You look at how they influence us. You look at Mark Gray. Mark Gray is doing. He's down in Dallas, Texas, doing a phenomenal job in the construction and the restaurant industry. I'm gonna tell you how they rubbed off on all of us. So that in turn turned me into the entrepreneur that I am today because I
Right.
learned the do's and don'ts from my dad and the
Mm-hmm.
do's and don'ts from my brothers. And
Mm-hmm.
every year I came back from TSU, I internship with my brothers. I mean,
Mm.
I remember one year, I'm talking about back in the day, this is in the 90s. The first year they did $1 million. That was
Wow.
a lot of money.
That was a
And
lot of money.
that was a lot of money back in the day. So I want to let you know how important that is for me to share that with you all, and share that with you, and to the importance that we need to do that. We need to get back to the basics of stuff in our kids' lives, in our
Yep.
family lives,
Yep.
because a lot of us can't do that. They won't
Exactly.
do that because everybody, like I said, everybody want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. And I talked to this young man. He said, "I want to go to heaven, but I'm scared to die." I said, "Brother,
Mm.
you're gonna have to die to go to heaven,
Exactly.
clown." But anyway, but
Exactly.
yeah. So I appreciate you, Mr. Blaylock. I
And you know
appreciate.
what? Something else you
Go ahead.
said is
Yeah, go ahead.
interesting because the whole partnership thing, and maybe on a different show, I'll talk about the
Mm-hmm.
essence of good partnership and bad partnership because we've experienced that, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
understanding of how a bad partner can ruin your situation or end you up in court. And I've lived that early on in my franchise life. But then it makes you appreciate. So our friend Mr. Paul Griffith, who runs Smashin Crab down there in San Antonio, does a great job, and he lives by being trustworthy. That is his underscored mantra in everything, not worrying about a dime when he's controlling the money. And there's several other partners that are involved in that, and I just appreciate their efforts and things of that nature, because that's just one less thing you got to worry about. But we should definitely talk about good and bad partnership traits the next time we're on here.
To do that.
Yeah.
We got to do it because it's important to understand that a good partner can definitely help you, but a bad partner can hurt you really bad. So what
Really
I'm
bad.
saying is we'll do that next time, but we want everybody to know that, hey, get involved. I mean,
Get involved.
everybody know who we are. They know how to get in touch with. Get involved, and we're gonna do this together. It's not like I said, it's not about us. It's about
Exactly.
children out there. It's about getting to these children's lives today and right now. And that I promise that if a lot of you not that's on live now that didn't see this, I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna be live again on Wednesday, Miss Play. Like I'm going to
Okay.
Sharp Elementary School,
Okay.
and we're gonna sign some documentation for there. Me and Mr. Dotson, and we're gonna adopt that school. So we're
Okay.
gonna adopt. Our goal is to adopt one school at a time,
Okay.
one school at a time, and eventually we want to have one national adopted school day for the whole nation, United States, where we can adopt
I
a
love
school one day.
it.
And
I
I'm
love
telling you, when we do this, we're gonna get into the school. I'm a Ross Elementary. I'll be there to you. Doubletree Elementary. I'm coming to you. Levi Elementary. I'm coming to you. So now He has, like I said, He's ordered my steps.
it. Mm-hmm.
So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see me stepping, or you want to see me shimmering, you can get off my page. But now, on all seriousness, though,
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to do it, and I pray that you can continue this journey with me and a
I
lot of
will.
us. Please,
Count
brother.
me in, my
I,
brother.
I thank you so much. God bless. Congratulations to my niece. I am so proud of her.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
national
proud.
champs. The
National
national
champs, the
champs.
national champs, they did it. Mr. Blalock, I appreciate you, good brother. I love you for all that you do. I love your leadership, brother. And you have a blessed day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Okay, good brother.
No problem. No
Take care,
problem.
sir.
I'm gonna leave y'all with that photo right there. The national
Yeah, let me see
champ.
the photo. Yeah, let me see the photo.
The national champs right there.
Put that up. Look
Yeah.
at that photo. Wow. So, Blaylock, can they go? Can they go somewhere and look at that photo
Yeah.
and post it?
There is so Bay News 9 actually. So it's a few things. So Bay News 9 down here in Tampa, Florida, did a
Okay.
story on them,
Okay.
and I'll send you links to the stories that were done, and then tune in to the Tampa Bay Rays next Tuesday when they take on the Miami
Gotcha.
Marlins at
Gotcha.
6:50 p.m. Eastern time, because they will
Okay.
be celebrating and featuring the South Tampa Saints for winning the girls' national championship.
Man, that's great. Great.
All right, my brother.
Hey, one more thing before we go out.
Yeah.
Brother King, he has a
Yes.
restaurant. We got to get him on this show. He has I
Yes.
asked him too. Brother
Over in
King has
Joplin,
a restaurant.
Missouri. Yep.
Yeah, Joplin,
Yep.
Missouri has a restaurant. So I need to get him on so he can tell folks about his story
Oh
and,
yeah.
and what he's going through. So Brother King, if you out there listening, good brother, we love you, and you're gonna be on this show too. So I need you, good brother. I sent you a text, so I want you to be on this show to share your share what you're going through, you and your wife, because y'all doing an amazing job. So I want people to know that. Okay,
Yeah, I
love
will,
you,
and
brother.
I'll start lining folks up. Said
Okay,
it's a
okay, brother.
done deal. All
Okay,
right.
brother. God bless you,
All right.
brother. Thank y'all. Thank y'all
Yep.
for tuning in. Thank you.
Thank
Bye bye.
y'all. Bye bye.